Hi, thank you for coming to the party. This is Spirit Guides After Dark. My name is Angela Shelby. I am a channeler. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am a dream interpreter. And I'm an energy healer. And I am doing this with my friend Jenna, who is actually on hiatus today. She's traveling. So it's me and the spirit guides and your spirit guides. And we started this enterprise because we wanted to give people a space that was safe to ask questions about more delicate topics around sex and sexuality and spirituality, especially since those topics seem to be oxymorons with each other. They are like oil and water for many people. And through our experience, we've learned that for myself, for ourselves, and for many of our clients and our friends, that it's not that way. And it was never intended to be that way. So we're opening up the space. I've always wanted a space like this. I want somebody to channel about sexuality. We're doing it. So if you are new to this, you can go into the chat and you can ask questions. Tonight, I am pulling out the cards. And if you want to ask more personal questions about like your romantic relationships or what's going on in your love life, please feel free to do so. It is February, the month of Valentine's. So it's a good month for this. And I felt guided to do this. So we will see what you have to ask. If you don't have questions, I sat down with Spirit this afternoon and they have their own questions and they know who's going to show up here. So if I like to remind people that one question can be an answer for many different people. So if I'm reading somebody and you hear it and you're like, oh my gosh, that really resonates with me, it was for you too. So just keep that in mind. So the first thing that we're going to do is set the space. So always say a prayer to hold space and to call in our spirit guides officially. I tune in before we ever get started and I call in your spirit guides. I call in my spirit guides. The angels always show up. I always call in ascended masters too, who are like Jesus and Buddha, and Muhammad and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin. And there are so many others that I don't even know their names. I call them in too, and we set the space. So this is a whole party. So we will just tune in here. Beloved angels, archangels, and ascended masters, thank you for blessing and being with us. Ooh. Thank you for watching over and protecting us. Thank you for holding this beautiful and sacred space. Thank you, elementals and dragons, for being here with us tonight. Thank you, Divine Council. Thank you, Galactic Council, for being here with us tonight. Beloved Ascended Masters, beloved angels, beloved masters of the universe, thank you for watching over us and protecting us. Thank you for holding our space. Thank you for your loving support. Thank you for lifting us up, especially in our darkest moments. Thank you so much for your answers, and thank you for being willing to talk to us tonight. We are so deeply, deeply grateful. And thank you to all of you who've tuned in tonight. We hold and protect this space in the name of the divine and with deepest love. And so it is. Ooh. Ooh. Awesome. Okay. Let's get started. So if you would like to ask a question, please type it in on the chat. Make sure the chat is working. And it is. Okay. All right. Very good. So let's see what question we have here. First and foremost. Mm. So the first question that's popping up with spirit is, what is important to know about attracting the love that you desire? So we're going to ask, what is important for you to know about attracting the love that you desire? And this is romantic love we're talking about. So the first thing that's coming through is, even though we're talking about romantic love, it's all about self-love first. That is the first place to secure your love, because again, the quality of the energy that you project is the quality of the energy that you receive. So let's ask about that. And they're showing me the number 156. 156. Oh, my angel book. Yeah, that's all right. We're not going to worry about it. This is what happens when I clean. So the first thing that comes up is the Wolf Spirit card, and it says family, and it's all about family. And the message that's coming through is self-love was first, but it's also deciding on what you want. So your spirit guides, when they are trying to bring you something, it is your will and what you desire that helps them determine what they are bringing you. So the more specific you can get, the easier it is for them to bring you what you want and need. Family comes up as part of this, because when we are talking about romance, even if we are not consciously thinking about it, it is energy of creating a space around us of family and community, and deciding what that looks like. Do you want it to be a one-night stand? Do you want to have a bunch of different relationships? Are you looking for marriage material? Do you want a long-term committed relationship? Or are you just not sure what you want? Sometimes half the battle is deciding what you want. But in that moment, when you're attracting somebody, decide how big of a family commitment do you want? This is also about addressing family issues. We are all products of our environment. And when we are searching for a partner, if we have issues, family issues that we haven't addressed yet, they can be the people in the shadows picking our partner for us. So, when people come to you and say, oh my God, I married my father, or oh, I married my mother, they're so alike. Why didn't I see this? That's because when you were choosing your partner, it was you trying to resolve your childhood issues, that piece of you that was making the decisions at that point. So the more you deal with your stuff, the better partner you're going to attract. The more consciously you're going to attract a partner, if that makes sense, instead of your shadows running your love radar behind the scenes. The second card we have right now is the Rainbow Waterfall, and that is all about miracles. Okay, so what's coming through right now, it's messages about hope and expectation. If you have been hurt and you are trying to put yourself back out there, it's really, really important to let go of your cynicism and feeling jaded. I know this because I have had this happen a lot. I've had a lot of crummy relationships. One of the reasons I am obsessed with this topic and talking to Spirit about it and helping others. It's important to have hope and to have a feeling of positive expectation. So, what do I mean by that? Positive expectation is knowing something good is around the corner for you. It's about knowing that there is something awesome waiting for you and looking every day for that something special. It's that hope. It's that spring in your step when you get up in the morning. That is a spiritual practice to cultivate, because when you do that, when you sit there and expect good things, it's almost like turning on a magnetic ray, because as soon as you're like, I expect goodness, the universe starts creating goodness to send to you because you're expecting it. And it's that kind of expectation that brings in miracles. And it's also giving the universe free license to bring you things that you didn't know you needed. It is like this blanket, blank card of awesomeness, this blank ticket that you are telling spirit to fill in for you with awesomeness. It expands your limits and again allows the universe to bring you things that you didn't think to ask for, that you didn't even know that you needed. And then the last card is the reflecting pool, and it's about stillness. So stillness, the first thing that comes to me, just to my mind, is stillness is how we get in touch with our authentic selves. It's how we get in touch with our inner guides. It's how we get in touch with our spirit guides and our soul. What's standing out in particular to me in this card are the stars. So there's stars reflected in the pool. And you can see that her image is, it's showing herself as a human, but her image is reflecting as a swan. Let me see what they are asking about that. So this card, the message coming through, the sky is the limit. Expand your expectations. When you stop in stillness with yourself, you touch a piece of yourself. It's like touching the stars. You have no limits when you go within. You're literally boundless. And what do I say by going within? That sounds so vague and esoteric. What I mean is sitting down for 5 minutes a day and saying, this is a date with myself. I'm going to drink my coffee this morning. I'm having no one else around. I'm going to put my phone in the other room, and I'm going to sit here in absolute stillness and just drink my coffee and breathe and say, my soul, I give myself permission to come down and be with me right now. And I'm listening. I'm paying attention. And just sit there. You can time it if you need to. 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day like that will rock and change your world. So when you do that, it's like having a date with yourself. It's you literally having this ritual of, I am literally making space for myself, for just me, for me to get in touch with myself. So what this boils down to, just in review, deciding exactly what you want so that your guides can bring it to you. The more specific, the better. Having that positive expectation, expecting good things, cultivate that feeling. That is giving the universe free license to bring you awesomeness without limits. And then being in stillness, because also when you're in stillness, it gives you the opportunity to hear the answers to your prayers. So prayer is output. Prayer is manifestation energy going out from you into the world. Stillness is where you hear your answers. So as much time as you spend outpouring and putting into the universe what your desires are, it's important to spend as much time just being in stillness so that you can hear the answers. Otherwise, it's like being a bullet train as you like blow past your internal navigator. It doesn't matter if you're full speed ahead if you're going in the wrong darn direction. So it's important to sit still and get in tune. All good answers, all good advice. So many times I attract clients that are learning the same lessons that I am, or I've survived the same lessons that they're going through. We are all mirrors for each other. And there are often times where I hear a message coming through from my client and I realize, holy cow, I needed to hear that too. It's amazing how that works. Oh, let's see what we got going on here. What's our next question? Oh, that's a good one. Do we want to do that one yet? Yeah, so this is coming up. What is important for men to know about their romantic life at this time? Excuse me. What is important for men to know about their romantic life at this time? Let's see. There we go. What is important for men to know about their romantic life at this time? So again, I sat down this afternoon with Spirit. Sorry, getting over the flu. Still have a catch in my throat. I was sitting and asking Spirit about these questions, and Spirit was very specific in these questions coming through. So let's see. And I thought, are we going to start asking about what women need in their romantic life right now? I did not get an answer to that. That was a no. So it's with men right now. All right. Let's ask. What is important for men to know about their romantic life at this time? Oh, that's interesting. So I don't know what men are tuning in right now, but this is for you. Spirit was very specific that it was about men. So the first card that comes up is flexibility, and it's the willow spirit. Willow trees are incredibly flexible. They do not break, they bend. They survive storms really well. The other thing about willow trees is that when there's a big storm, they bend, but they also break, but it's almost, I want to say it's intentional, and it's about them letting go. They will let go of part of their branches to save the whole tree. So they allow these big winds to come through and knock out deadfall, but they also are willing to let go under that force. So let's see. That's interesting that I was prompted to talk about that information. So for men, the energy of men and the male energy of the planet for so long has been so unyielding. So might makes right. So I have to hold up my defenses and be, I want to say that machismo. That's the only way I can describe it. And that is changing. So we're moving into this more feminine energy. And it's, when I say feminine energy, so many people think it's woman power and women are going to rise up and it's our time. And it's more subtle than that. This is for everybody. We all have masculine and feminine, each and every one of us. And this rising up is not just about masculine energy with men. It's women and our masculine energy. I know some really masculine energy women, like full steam ahead, incredibly intense, unyielding, strong-willed. That's masculine energy. Feminine energy is yielding. It doesn't mean it's weak. It means it bounces instead of breaking. It is that river that flows and can carve out stone and create a canyon. That is feminine energy. Flexibility is all about feminine energy. So for the men and the romantic life, this flexibility card is all about bouncing instead of breaking. It's about learning to bend with situations. And instead of having hard lines, it's about being able to be flexible with your lines and your boundaries, and being flexible about learning a different way, learning a new way of being. What men have been taught up to this point has been not serving. There's been a lot of breakdown in relationship between men and women, and part of it is this shift in energy. So again, it's about being flexible. It's about being willing to let go, going with your feelings. I have learned so much from my own personal stuff. When the message go with the flow comes through, it means feeling all your feels and rolling with those emotions. And even if it's just feeling all your feels doesn't mean you have to act on them. It means feeling them and just breathing. Just breathe with them. That was a lot of information for one card. The second card is Secret Spring, and it is success. So this new way of being, this being flexible, this learning new ways of relating. And if you're a guy out there and you're wondering what the heck, I don't understand, or I would love to learn a new way of being. The way I've been doing it hasn't been working. Sit down and take that 5 minutes that I talked about in that first portion of this. Sit down for that 5 minutes and put it out there. I need a new way of being. I got to learn a new way. And then sit down and start looking at, see what comes to you. You might get the nudge to get a counselor. You might get the nudge to join a men's group. You might get the nudge to take a dance somewhere. You just don't know. Listen to what comes through. It's men still being leaders in the world, but it's leading in a new way. And that includes leading in relationships. Let's see. And they're wanting me to talk about the masculine and feminine right now. Again, overall with the energy of things. So for men, this change in bringing in more feminine energy, the way the polarity is shifting on the planet in that way, moving from the masculine, shifting more towards the feminine, more flexibility, more acknowledging feelings. And they're also saying acknowledging your feelings is not weakness. Acknowledging your feelings and flowing with them is actually strength, because if you deny feelings, it is the divine feminine going out of balance, and you become overly emotional. Your emotions explode out in weird and strange ways at inappropriate times. So by men thinking they're stuffing their feelings, and women, we do it too. By stuffing your feelings, you think you're being more masculine, and that, what do I want to say? None of that feminine baloney, when in actuality, what you're doing is allowing your feminine energy to go wildly out of control. If you sit with your feelings and you let them move through you instead of trying to stuff them, that is power. Then they don't run you. Adapting to this new way of being in this new energy is where success is. And this is the thing. There are no hard and fast rules for the changes that are here and coming. And in between men and women in the world, period, you are creating a new way of dating. You're creating a new way of relating. You're creating a new way of being in relationship with yourself and other people. So it's okay to stumble about and make mistakes. It's okay not to know. It's okay to try things you normally wouldn't, and to think outside the box when it comes to dating, relationship, and what you want that to look like. Take your old ways of thinking about relationships and just chuck them out the window, unless there are pieces of it that you absolutely love. If you are absolutely in love with, I'm just going to throw out like the 1950s idea of, I take care of my wife, she stays at home, she takes care of my kids in my home, and that's exactly what I want, and I love it. Awesome. Stick with it. Listen to that. Listen to what you love. If you have this burning need, you're like, I never want to be married. I never want that committed relationship. I want to have like 3 awesome relationships. That's the world I want to live in. God, I don't even know how I would do that. Go for it. Listen to that. There's a reason. There's a reason for it. So again, you are stepping way outside the box. You are moving into free creativity land with this new energy. You're finding your own way. So if you feel like you're in limbo and you're like, don't know what the hell you're doing, great. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is a new creative endeavor for you. Go for it. Go for it. And baby steps and find your way. And again, that 5 minutes every day in stillness is going to help you hear and get nudges and get inspiration. That's the other thing about stillness. Inspiration. Inspiration means allowing spirit to come in. Literally, people would call it that, like artists would call it their muse coming in and inspiring them. It is your soul coming in and inspiring you, and you taking just time to hear it. Okay, last card, men. Last thing to know about what is important to know about your romantic life right now. So this is the fire spirit. It is all about energy. And they're drawing me to the flames of this woman. Wow, this is a powerful message. And interestingly enough, the ladies who are listening and watching, I want you to take this in too. It has not been safe a lot of the time for women to rise up in their energy and meet their men. So men have really fiery energy. A lot of the time it has been thought to be best for women to hide their energy and their fire in order to appease their husbands, their lovers, when in reality, what is needed is for women to rise up and have that fiery energy. And especially in this day and age, men are craving that. Men want the woman to rise up in her energy and meet them where they're at, to be strong, to have passion, to push back when they get pushed. Men, this new way of being, this, what we have described before, is going to give you that, to create a space for your woman to rise up and meet you and to stand and meet your passion, to meet you where you're at, to have a partner, to have a real partner, and not, what do I want to say? Not a pale imitation of a partner. This is fire energy. This feminine energy. Oh, what else? What are they? There's more to this. Okay, so this is about divine feminine energy and like a fire rising up. You are going to get an influx of energy. Like literally. It almost reminds me of like Kundalini rising is the way they're describing it. It's this influx of new feminine energy, and it is going to change the way you think, feel, and like your stamina. Your ability to keep firing as a vital masculine presence in the world. You are walking into a time where that feminine energy that's rising up and you accepting it and working with it instead of the old paradigm of pushing it away is going to, it's going to like help you not age. It's going to give you like an extra wind. It's going to give you more energy, more fire, more oomph. It's like it's integrating this energy source you didn't know you had. And it's going to be massive. And I'm so something I would also like to explain, the old way of being, the old masculine, that was necessary at the time. That's what was needed in the world at that time to survive. So I do a lot of readings with people, and there are a lot of people who are resolving generational family trauma. And what I mean by that is energy being inherited from their ancestors and going up through their family line. And when that happens, someone in their family, a lot of light workers right now are trying to resolve that energy. But as they're doing it, their ancestors come through as spirit guides, and their ancestors often work with them. It's almost like, I don't want to say penance. It's helping them shift the energy because they were a part of creating the energy and handing it down as it was. And what I hear from a lot of ancestors who were very violently masculine and unyielding to the point of abuse to others, it was this mentality of having to be that hard in order to survive. And their understanding at that time, their belief that I have got to be this hard or we aren't going to make it. So I just want to put that out there for understanding and compassion. I am not validating or what do I want to say, excusing anything. It's just a different perspective. It's an honoring of what went before because, again, at the time it was needed. We're moving into a different time where that integrating the feminine and that flexibility is how it's best to survive and thrive. But that old way of being, I don't want to dishonor it in any way, shape, or form. Everything has a place. So that was its place, and now we are moving on. I hope that was helpful. Let's see. That was a lot of information. They're coming through with a lot of information tonight. Let's see what other questions we have here. We're going to hide that. Let's see. And again, if you have any personal questions, please feel free to come through with them. What else do we have here? Well, let's do this one. What is important for you to know about your romantic relationship at this time? What is important for you to know about your romantic relationship at this time? Whew. Oh my goodness. They really are going on about the shifting of energy and the divine feminine coming in. It is affecting everything. It is really affecting relationships between men and women. Big time. Let's see what they have to say. I find it fascinating. So I learned so much by doing readings for other people because all this awesome information comes through that I didn't know. So it's interesting to watch ancestors talk about the way things were and why things need to change. Let's see. We're asking what is important for you to know about your romantic relationship at this time. So all y'all who are in relationships, oh, wow. And they're flipping cards off right now. Ha! We were just talking about this. The first card is change. The energy. The energy of this time is literally changing our relationships. Dragonfly spirit, change. Change, change, change. Whew. What's the other one? Oh, there's 4 cards to this one. Okay. So this is about this change at this time, this energy I was just talking about. It's affecting everything. It's affecting your relationships. Some relationships are getting stronger, especially if both parties are willing to acknowledge this shift in feminine power. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about power dynamics within your family. I am talking about internal shifts of how you process your emotions and your personal feminine energy. Are you fighting it, or are you going with the flow? Are you fighting the emotions that come up? Are you willing to change? This is the other thing about this energy coming in. It is triggering and pulling up your old trauma that you just decided you didn't want to deal with. It's inescapable. It's almost like being on a hot air balloon. And if you want to go higher, you have to let go of your anchor. All that old trauma is your anchor. And as this energy comes in and is lifting you up and changing your energy, that old pain gets shaken out like dirt, and you have to look at it and let it go. That's what it comes down to. Old trauma, it's important to look at it, acknowledge it, and let it go. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. It's whatever it takes for you to feel your feels, and then let it go and understand that that was done and you're moving on to better things. But you can't bypass. What I mean by bypassing is just going, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to focus over here and do everything I can to avoid it. Avoidance is bypassing. If you're doing things to avoid, it's going to come back and bite you. Again, it'll come out in weird ways. So this energy is changing that. Is there anything else with this? No. The second card is Earth Spirit. It's about stability. Stability. Let's ask about that. Wow. So what they're showing me and telling me is they're showing this time right now about how so many relationships and marriages are breaking apart, and how that institution has taken a really hard hit. And it's because that institution of marriage and how we relate, that used to be our stability, and it was on a shaky foundation. It was often based on inequality and power between both parties. We are coming into a time where there is more equality between both parties and relationship. And again, romantic relationship, this can be between, a woman and a woman and a man and a man. Again, it's not specifically about those, what do I want to say? About your gender. It's about the flow and balance of masculine, feminine energy within you, and how that determines how you function, think, and behave in the world. So just like that, how that message is coming through for the men, we are moving into a new time where the stability of our relationships is open to a lot of creative license. We are stepping into a time where we are recreating marriage in a way that is personal to each and every one of us. We are recreating our relationships on a foundation that is going to be unique to each and every one of us. This used to be such a cookie cutter idea, and it's not anymore. That old way of being is not stable like it was. Even that old mentality of marriage is shifting. I listened to a really awesome talk about describing the new way of doing marriage and relationships. It used to be this cookie cutter idea of, I will meet my soulmate and they will be everything to me and I will be everything to them, and we will merge our lives and it will be beautiful. That has not worked out well. This new way of thinking is about each person. It's like thinking of a relationship as a creation, like a pot of stew. One person puts in something and the other person puts in something. And then you see how that goes and if that works. And if it doesn't work, you try something else. One person puts something else into the pot and the other person puts something else in. It's a creation. It's treating a relationship like a creative project. It is like treating it like a garden that you're growing. There's no just, oh, we get married and we go on autopilot. There's no, we are just going to blend and this is the way it's supposed to be. That is not how this stuff works. It's all about consciously creating what you want, consciously creating your stability and what that looks like for you, not necessarily what it looked like for your parents or your grandparents or your Uncle Bob or, whoever. This is for you to decide and determine. And that is your stability. It's understanding this, that you are the one creating this relationship. Do it consciously. That is where your stability comes from. So the stability of these relationships is shifting. The foundation is shifting. So you may be in a relationship right now and this new energy coming in, you're like, I don't look at them the same way anymore. I don't know what happened. It can feel like it happens overnight, or I don't feel the same, or what's going on. Look at those feelings. And it's not like an ending of your relationship. It's a revamping of the foundation. When that happens, you may want to get a counselor. You may want to get a counselor just so you can just talk about the changes that you're experiencing. But understand that if you're having those moments, natural change. And there's nothing wrong with having things shift and change. The fourth card is retreat. So again, they keep showing me pictures of people being in long-term relationships right now, and all of a sudden this energy coming in it's changing it, it's affecting the stability, it's changing each person's feelings as they go through their stuff that's being brought up by this energy. It is time in those moments to pull back into yourself and look to yourself for answers. If you're on the rocks with your partner right now, or you're having hard times or just weirdness, you feel like you're changing and shifting and they're not, it is not the time to reach out to them and seek your salvation in your relationship. It's time to pull back and reassess and be with yourself. It's time to pull back and get real with yourself. Asking yourself questions like, is this shift in me about my partner, or is it really about like my trauma from when I was 5? Is this my old family stuff coming up that I just haven't looked at, but for some reason right now is in my face and I can't get away from it? That stuff's happening. Be aware. It's time. That's what this retreat card means. It's like, it's pull back, regroup, get really honest with yourself. That message has been in my face lately like no other, especially when it comes to old triggers and old ways of thinking and evaluating what my priorities and my dreams are. They're like, get honest with yourself, get really deep and get really real. That is going to be your saving grace here. Retreat into yourself. Take time to look at yourself, to go into that 5 minutes of stillness every day. That keeps cropping up. And feel and be honest with yourself. If no one else, be honest with yourself. And if that part of you is like, I can't be in this marriage anymore, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know what's wrong, I strongly suggest go find a counselor, just so you have an unbiased party to talk to before you make any major decisions of any kind. I can guarantee you right now, a lot of it is people's crap coming up, a lot of their trauma, and they are coming for readings about stuff, and it's their trauma coming up. They just need help venting it and helping it move on. So retreat and passage. I love this card. Passage. Those are standing stones. And the phrase that's coming through my mind right now is literally passing through the eye of the needle. So passing through, it's making safe passage through this time. It's crossing a threshold. We are moving into this new time. And this description of what I just talked about as how to make the way through. It's how to move through the eye of that needle. And it's how to do it with sanity and grace. This is not, what do I want to say? This is simple stuff, but it's not easy. It's like patience. Patience is a really simple concept. Doesn't mean it's easy. These things that we've talked about are actually really simple concepts. Doesn't mean that they're easy. It takes practice. And this is the other thing that they're coming through with right now. It's really important for you to be compassionate and patient with yourself through all of it. You are going to have moments where you simply don't know. You feel confused. You feel lost in limbo. That's okay. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. You're going to have moments where you're like trying to tackle your trauma and your old habits and ways of being, and you are going to blow through and go, damn it, I did it again. I did it again. I didn't mean to do it again, but I can't believe I just did that old thing again, that old pattern. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a good pat and like, geez, at least I noticed this time. Celebrate your successes. Baby steps. Celebrate each baby step. And know that relationships are worth working through and worth saving. Ooh. And some of you just may be thriving right now as you both consciously move through the change. I know that's out there too. But this was really geared toward understanding how this energy that is coming through, this new divine feminine shift in perspective, is shifting long-standing romantic relationships. Oh, okay. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. What question? We did that one. We did that one. Okay, we're moving on to the big guns now. How can you use romance and sex to level up your spirituality? This one popped in and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's see. How can you use romance and sex to level up your spirituality? Let's see what we got going. How can you use sex, romance and sex to level up your spirituality? I can tell you right now, as a little Catholic girl, I would never have thought to ask such a question. Let's see. Whew, lots of energy coming through. 5 cards on this one. Lots of cards on this one. Oh. Wow, these are good cards. Oh, okay. So the first card that we have here is an eagle and a Pegasus, and it's freedom. It's all about freedom. Oh, let's see what we have here. So we asked, how can you use romance and sex to level up your spirituality? What are they showing me right now? So they're showing me pushing beyond the limits of what you know. So the exact words coming through are, when you allow yourself to push through your boundaries and the limitations that have been imposed upon you by others, it expands in more areas of your life than in that one space. So, for example, when you take your taught sexual limitations and reassess your values around sex, sexuality, and sexual relationship, it expands your consciousness. It opens up the box on your creativity. It allows you to move beyond self-imposed boundaries. There is so much limitation that has been imposed on you from outside sources that controls your creativity and your light. When you push beyond those boundaries, when you either accept them with conscious awareness as something that is true for you and own it, or you closely look at them and decide that they do not work for you. Each conscious choice in that way that is made with awareness, with choice, not made out of obligation, guilt, or fear. When you make it with loving, conscious choice, it is taking back the reins of your power and claiming your freedom that is inherent to you, that is your right. Ooh, dang. That was powerful. So pushing our sexual limits and looking at our boundaries and deciding which ones really belong to us that we agree with and what don't, based on a place of love instead of fear, expands our spiritual boundaries. It's like pushing the box in that area opens up other areas at the same time. That's the message I was getting. The second card is manifesting dreams. Hello. Otter Spirit. Otter Spirit is playful. They are flexible and they question everything. So that this is the second card behind freedom, where we were talking about stretching and questioning the limitations that have been put on us by others. Otters are all sass. I remember reading a book. I went to school to be a zookeeper for a year, and we learned about animal training. And I was reading this book about a woman who used to teach to help train animals and be a trainer at SeaWorld. And she said otters are one of the hardest animals to train because they're so smart and they question everything. So when you have an otter and you're like training them to sit on a chair, to sit in one spot, the otter is always going, you meant that yesterday. Do you mean it today? Do you mean it if I hang my right foot off? What if I hang my left foot off? Do you still mean it? Do you mean it if I turn backwards? They are constantly pushing the limits. They're always questioning, and they always do it with a spirit of fierce playfulness. So the water spirit and manifesting dreams, our dreams and what our true desires are can be absolutely terrifying sometimes. And when people give us self-imposed limits, it gives us a really good excuse to say, oh, I can't do that. I can't look at my real desires because, I've been taught I have to be XYZ. They give us a really good excuse to hide from ourselves. This manifesting dreams is, again, about being honest with ourselves. Being honest with ourselves about what we want, and even if it's just admitting it to ourselves. So when we do that in our romantic relationships in the sexual arena, again, that is our core of creative power. The sexual energy and creative energy are all mixed in the same area, in the same place. They go hand in hand. So when we acknowledge our truth in that area of our life, it helps us accept our truth in other areas of life. It helps our creative energy expand beyond the limits that have been imposed on us by other people. Let's see. Foggy bog, patience. So my eyes are being drawn to the egret in the middle of this card. And that's telling me it's about the egret. So one of the spiritual meanings of like herons and egrets, these birds that stand above the water in stillness and just watch and wait, they are the epitome of patience, and they wait for life to bring them their abundance, but they are hyper watchful and expectant and waiting for it. One of the other meanings of them, or what's coming through, is keeping your head above the water so that you can see what's going on. Let me see what they mean by that. What do they mean by that phrase in this circumstance? It's about taking the broader perspective. So we talked about, again, these past two cards have been about looking at what's been imposed on us by others and looking at the limitations we impose on ourselves, and looking at what we truly desire and what we want and what we'll admit to ourselves. This card is about stepping back and looking at the broader perspective. What do I mean by that? We talked about sitting in stillness. When I sit in stillness, one of the things that happens for me is this sense of stepping back from life and just watching it. And all of a sudden, I feel this peace and this calmer perspective. And it's that stepping back that allows that peace to come in. And it just reassures me that it's like saying, they're showing me the way to describe this. When astronauts are in space looking down at the Earth, you see the big picture. You see the peace. You see what's really important. When you talk to astronauts, they have this moment when they're up there that they say, I wish I could bring everyone up there to see what we see, to see how small our planet is, to see how we are all together in this vastness of space in the universe, and that we are what we have, that we are on this beautiful little planet together, and it is just peaceful up there. They can see the wholeness of the moment. They can see what's really important because they've stepped back to take that broader view. When when you are in, I'm trying to see how they're relating this to romance and leveling up. Oh, this is what they're saying. Okay. When you're honest with yourself about what you want, and when you are questioning the limitations of others, it pulls you back to this broader perspective. It is a natural migration of your awareness. You are going to start pulling back and seeing the bigger picture instead of getting bogged down in the pain and details of life and what has been handed to you. You literally start to get in touch with your soul more and get that broader perspective. The next card, which is awesome, I love this card too, it's enlightenment. It's the temple. You see the woman standing next to this fiery temple. This is her temple. This represents your temple, your soul, that sacred space within you that is your power. Moving down this path where you are questioning your sexual limitations and getting that broader perspective, that going down that migration to this broader perspective puts you in touch with your soul more. It brings you home to yourself. This is power. What else do they have to say about this? So the phrase that just came through is don't let go. And let me see what they mean by that. This is interesting. So they're saying when you start going down this path of being honest with yourself, questioning your beliefs around sex and relationships, and you start getting that broader perspective and you run headfirst into your temple, where you find that moment of peace with your soul and you're like, oh my God, I have arrived. They're saying don't let it go, because you're going to have these moments when you push against those boundaries, especially if they are cultural boundaries or like family boundaries, there are these moments where it's almost like old habits try to snap you back into your patterns. It's making sure, this is what they're warning about is make sure that when you find this, when you get that broader perspective, that you hold on to it. And if you snap back for a second and fall into old patterns and old ways of being, give yourself again a pat on the back for going, oh, at least I noticed this time. But then don't let this go. Go back and hold on to it. This is, God, they keep wanting me to hold it up. This is what's really important. This coming home to your soul is the most important thing you will ever do, ever. So, and it's just as easy as, again, I shouldn't say easy. It's simple, but it may not necessarily be easy. And actually, they just said it's easier than you think it is. It's just all about being honest with yourself and being with yourself, sitting with yourself. They keep reiterating, man, that 5 minutes a day, that keeps looking more powerful, like every reading I've done tonight. And if you're just tuning in, I talked about earlier, sitting 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes with yourself and listening to your own breath and your own soul talk to you. So this card, it's called the Thicket of Thorns. It's uncertainty. This too is like a warning of what's to come. When you are in this temple, when you are in your soul, in your temple, when you are moving to the voice of your soul, you are pushed to your limits often. Your soul will push you to the edge of your comfort box a lot. And living in this place of uncertainty, of creativity, that's really what this is. It's like being in limbo. And when you're in limbo, it's the sky is the limit. There are no walls. It's like you're floating in the awesome void of creativity. What are you going to create? What are you going to make with this power that is yours? What are you going to choose today? Spirit takes you on adventures. And again, these adventures push your box. It pushes your limits, saying, you believe this limit. Do you really believe it? I feel Spirit is often like an otter. It's going, do you believe it today? Do you think about it? What do you think about what you just learned in this circumstance? You learned about it in your sexual life, but what about this lesson, this limit, and carried over to your business life? We get so many people that come for readings and stuff that their sexual trauma, they come in because they want to increase their finances, or they feel like their creativity is stuck in a rut, and they come in and their sexual trauma pops up, and they're like, resolve this and it will iron out these other issues. These sexual issues, these limits we hold about our sexuality, which, in conjunction crosses over to our creativity, affects everything. It affects all areas of our life. So it's important to get right with those aspects because, as you can see, it brings awesomeness. This place of uncertainty is really a really fun place to be, as much as it can be, what do I want to say, titillating and nerve-wracking. It's awesome when you feel your soul so much when it says, take this step. No logical reason for it, but go here, do this, take this step. And it takes you out into awesomeness and new experiences and new creations. I'm probably going over. Am I going over? I'm going over. I want to say thank you very much for spending your time with me tonight. It was so much fun to read for you tonight. If you have any questions or you want a more personal reading, please feel free to reach out to me. My website is www.angelashelby.com. You can contact me through my website. Also, we have me and my awesome friend Jenna. We do the Erotic Spirit Podcast, and this is our website. You can tune in to our episodes there. That podcast is all about bringing spirituality and sexuality together and allowing Spirit to just give answers about those questions and those topics. We sit down for every episode we do, and we're like, Spirit, what do you want us to talk about? And those are our episodes. So we do some live channeling in those episodes when Spirit pops through and does it. But each one of those episodes is based on information we got from Spirit and channeled in. So I hope you join us. I hope it helps you. If you have personal questions that you don't want people to see who you are, and want to ask questions anonymously, go to the Erotic Spirit Podcast website, and at the top that says Spirit Guides After Dark, click on that, and it will allow you to put in your question, and we will put it up anonymously so that you can get your question asked the next time we do the Spirit Guides After Dark on Thursdays, and you can hear the answer without giving away who you are. Thank you very much. We'll just close with beloved angels and archangels, beloved ascended masters. Thank you for blessing everyone who is here tonight. Thank you for sending your blessings out to them and your peace and your joy. Thank you for allowing them to harness the power that they are. Thank you for allowing them to feel what's important for them to feel, and to do it with grace and safety and fortitude. Thank you for watching over them. Thank you for taking care of them. Thank you for helping them stand in their own grace, in their own time, in the way that serves them best. And so it is, great Creator. We thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a blessed night. Until next